Welcome to Modern Home Masterminds with Bespoke Brokers. I'm Shauna Glazier, designated broker and owner.
And I'm Brittany Williamson, associate broker. Shauna and I are Bespoke Real Estate, but we're also your guides to modern luxury across the entire state of Arizona.
Each week, we chat with masterminds shaping the modern spaces. Do you want to get a behind-the-scenes look at your design build team's processes? Well, open communication and teamwork will lead you to successful projects.
From architects to builders, designers, and more, let's explore the art of modern living together.
All right. Well, when you walk into an extraordinary outdoor space, what are you actually responding to? The materials, the views, the pool? Or are there deeper design principles at work that shape how we experience beauty, comfort, and connection? Well, today's guest, Kirk Bianchi, has spent more than 3 decades exploring the very question.
That's right. Kirk is the owner and principal of Bianchi Designs. For more than 35 years, Kirk has been creating some of Arizona's most celebrated luxury outdoor environments. Recognized as a master of the Southwest at just 35 years old, his work has been featured in Phoenix Home and Garden over 24 times, and he recently won first place nationally in the $1 Million Pool Design Challenge. Kirk is also an educator, teaching his design methodology at Genesis, where his course is a prerequisite to the industry's highest certification. What makes Kirk especially interesting is the question that has guided his entire career. How do we perceive something to be beautiful? That pursuit of understanding is what creates an elevated sense of place, has become the foundation of his work, and we're excited to explore it with him today.
Thank you. That's a long question.
Welcome, Kirk. It's good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
We're excited for the conversation. Yeah, so how do we perceive something to be beautiful, and where did that start for you?
Yeah, it's one of those deep questions you have when you're driving down the road and not listening to the radio and just wondering about those things. At least that's what's going through my head. Mm-hmm. And it's been pretty constant. I thank my dad. It was Father's Day recently, if you are tracking with the calendar. And I have to give thanks to my dad, who, a early memory, 5 years old, we're sitting down, and he had brought home a model airplane. And it was a biplane, and it was a great time to sit down, bond, build something together. We're putting it together, and of course, I wanted to rush ahead and love the paint scheme on the thing, and it was so beautiful. And hey, I want to make this happen. He's like, no. Tomorrow, we have to let the glue dry. You can't just jump in so far ahead. You have to sand it down. You can't do it if the glue's wet. And there was this process that you had to go through. You couldn't just rush to the finish line. So it was a bit of, what they say, you learn everything you're supposed to do in life in kindergarten. This is one of those moments to slow down and dig into the process. And it taught me to see the whole. We had something to look forward to, but we had to go through all the steps involved to get to the end game. And so that was a real interesting moment that I reflect on quite often. So thank you, Dad, for all of that immersion. Yeah. And, after that, I was always into art, sketching, drawing. It just came naturally to me. But to fast forward a little bit, architecture class in high school, what a great start. All 4 years.
You had an architecture class all 4 years in high school?
Every day.
Where did you go to high school?
Henry Ford, Michigan.
Okay.
Sterling Heights. Yeah, I was in the vocational department. It was a 3-hour class every day, all 4 years.
Wow.
English, that's kind of an elective. Really enjoyed that. And Mr. Palm was just so passionate about the craft. There he is, from the yearbook. Thanks, Mr. Palm. And constantly provoking us to do deeper work, better work, drafting competitions. And we had a lot of state competitions that we could aspire to be in. And this particular project I was able to enter my junior year. I did one in my senior year, but it's relevant because it was a seaside project. It was meant to be a concession stand by day and a dance pavilion and entertainment center by evening. And so what did I do at 17? I said, let's gonna carve it out of the hillside on the beach, and it'll be made of shotcrete, which is what we build pools out of. So, that's kind of a premonition there. And it's carved out of the hillside like a coral reef, and very organic and not a boxy structure, but it just kind of speaks to where I ended up, and I didn't even know it was happening at the time. So that was a great moment. That was one of our competitions that we got to submit to. And then, along the way, my dad's 5th trip to Japan, he'd been there. The first time was the 80s during Shogun. Bring me some samurai swords, and he did on the plane, carry on.
That's awesome.
A little bigger than box cutters. And, we got back to the States, and he brought me that. And it was his 5th time to go, and it was my junior year. And he said, let's go with me over the summer. I can't. I have to take the ACT exams. Who says that? And he turned out the counselor said, yeah, there's one in the fall. So, of course, okay, then I'll go to Japan with you for a month. And while he was at work, one of the trips we got to go on, one of the coworkers and a local there took us on a tour to a paper-making town where this ancient craft of paper-making had been going on for centuries. And one of our lunch stops was this hidden sit-down tatami floor, a garden spot. You didn't see it from the outside. And when you sat down on the floor and you turned and looked through the shoji blinds, this is the picture I took.
Oh, wow.
And it really knocked my socks off. I had never seen anything like it, but it was kind of a pinnacle moment. I ended up printing this off, and it was my college dormitory poster that I carried with me. And then later, when I became in the pool business, I would show people, hey, this could be your backyard. Look, it's a small space. It's okay. There's a 2-story house next door. That's okay.
Yeah.
Look at the layering we can create. So it carried with me. And only later in my career did I go back and analyze it, because as I studied the art composition of what's happening here, why is this so beautiful? Mm-hmm. There's things going on structurally that if you look, it's not just nature by accident. It's organized.
It's definitely organized.
Yeah, but in a soft way. Any things you notice that strike you? Like if you were just going to look at the geometry of it that make it interesting?
Well, I just see that it's layered and it's got taller tree, kind of blocking where that 2-story house is, right? You've got this nice water feature coming down. Mm-hmm. It's very layered.
It's very layered, yeah. And even though it's a small space, it shows foreground, middle ground, and background that even in a small space you can achieve. And if you incorporate layers, even a small space can look like it has depth. The footbridge that comes in on the bottom left kind of leads your eye in. In art history, that bottom left is the Baroque diagonal. It's too much information for this class. But it's so easy to come in on the bottom left of a painting. You see a lot of paintings organized that way. And the footbridge leads you in. It leads to the bridge that goes over. But the subject of this space is this twisted Japanese pine that's somewhat forward. But so it doesn't fly away, there's this triangular base of plantings that hold it down like a paperweight. So visually it grounds it, even though it's trying to spiral and get away from you. And the background is kind of uniform, monochromatic. There's not too much bling. It's khaki shorts on purpose because you picked something cool, so you want it to offset with neutral. And this twisted pine is the subject. But you notice your eye goes across the bridge, up the spine of the tree, connects the roof line, uses the roof line as borrowed landscape, and then your eye drops down to the lantern. It's a circle. So next time you're at the art museum, look at how it's organized, and it's designed to keep your eye on the page and not let it drift off.
This is why we think something's beautiful.
Yeah, this is
circular.
Because it was designed.
Focusing.
It was designed to keep your eye, and you want to look longer. And why are my eyes captivated by this? So it's like poetry, everything has an expression and a phrase. So this was a key moment that impacted me, and I didn't realize it till I looked back.
So seeing the world through an artist's eye, what problem does that let you solve for your clients?
A lot of the things that people respond to, it's somewhat below their conscious level. Clients come into a project, they know this is a lifetime moment. How often do you get to design a home in your lifetime? How often do you get to do something major on your exterior living space? This is a significant moment, and they're not equipped with the skill sets to do it themselves. And of course, the world bombards them with 10,000 options. Thank you, Pinterest and House. And they're overwhelmed by so many scenarios that don't seem to reconcile. And what they're looking for is someone to unify and bring harmony, because the feeling they want is this, I just want to be peaceful and comfortable in the space.
But they can't put their finger on how.
And they don't know how. They don't know how to ask for it. And they know this, and so they're anxious. And so what do I ultimately provide? Certainty. I want the client, once we walk through the design, to feel grounded and certain Not only because the design is good, but I'm actually teaching them the methodology behind it. So they go pull back the curtain, show their friends. But they feel committed. Okay, this is a big deal. I'm spending a lot of money. But I feel grounded and sure that it's going to land and be awesome. And so that gap in knowledge is something that I love bringing. And I want to pose a question to illustrate this. What is music? You hear sounds, they're coming at you.
It's a composition.
Yeah.
It's architecture.
Yeah, architecture is music frozen in time.
Yes.
But before you can come to that conclusion, you have to know, well, what is music? I'm hearing sounds all day. When do I recognize, okay, that's melody, that's music. It's not discord. So the hint of it is Pythagoras started asking this question, 500 BC. We've been at it for 25 years. He noticed, he's the guy who gave us a squared, b squared, c squared. And on his weekends, he was like, well, what about beauty? Can we figure that out? Can we measure it? And he noticed that when he'd pluck a string, it would vibrate once, and the whole thing was a wave. So Pythagoras was asking a question on the weekends when he wasn't doing a squared, b squared, c squared, is why are things beautiful? And he was playing around with music and noticed if you pluck a string on a one-stringed instrument, the whole thing's a wave, makes a sound. Okay, that's a nice note. But if you just touch the string randomly, it just goes flat. But if you touch the string at the midpoint, it's an octave higher. And it's vibrating twice as fast. But it feels like the same note. And it's, do it again, it lands on the thirds. Do it again, it lands on the fourths. But any other place, it just kind of gets muddy and doesn't feel good, doesn't sound good. And what he revealed is there's math behind music. So the thing that blows my mind is in real time, your brain is going, oh, there's quarter notes, half notes, proportion when you're listening to music. But you don't think that. You go, I love this tune. It's beautiful. There's this melody. And that's what we react viscerally to music. That's your brain doing math in real time. And harmony is when all of these notes are working out in proportion with each other. That's what we're reacting to. Well, we do the same thing visually, but it's a little more deeper. It's a little deeper. We can somehow tolerate a messy desk longer than we should, but when you finally clean it up, it feels great. So proportion is the language of harmony, and when we hear it, it's called music, but when we see it, oh, that's beautiful. So the secret sauce to all of this is proportion. And I think that's what people are longing for. They're reaching for it. They don't know how to ask for it. And if you're not yet trained in doing proportion, you're going to assemble a bunch of pieces and parts and try to fit them together, and they don't quite go until you keep working it and working it and working it until hopefully you land on it. So I bring people a sense of certainty about what they're getting because I'm trying to bring proportion to an exercise that is eluding them. And the pieces and parts then come together like musical instruments.
I can see how your clients, once you explain everything to them, are like, this is the guy.
It's fun.
He's gonna do it.
I like solving mysteries because it's a big conundrum for folks, and it's a high-stakes moment. And if you can bring them some reassurance and a beautiful thing at the same time, that's a lot of fun.
All right. We noticed you don't call yourself a pool designer or a landscape designer. You use the term artistic director. What is that distinction and why does it matter?
Our industry, in order to become experts, often specialize. So a pool person spends their whole day and it's a full-time career being a good pool contractor. A landscape contractor, that's a lifetime discipline. Learning plants, irrigation systems, and all the things to go into operating a landscape business. That's a full-time endeavor. Architecture is a full-time endeavor. Lighting is a full-time endeavor. And how you bridge them is somewhat of a missing piece. And that's the role I like to play, is how do you get all these musicians to be a band and work together? When everyone's doing their piece, that part alone is excellent, but it's somewhat in isolation. The magic's in where they blend. And that's often what's missing. So that's the part I love doing. I have this illustration here about a sequence. You know, if you come up with a plan, We're talking about a backyard. How do you start? Where do I begin? And from that art history class lesson, the thing that I got from art history was every slide that went up, what is the subject of this painting? So now when I go in a backyard, I'm like, what's the subject here? What am I supposed to be looking at? Is there a view? Is there something I don't want to look at? And if there isn't, do we need to create one? The pool's like the rug in the living room. You don't position that until you know where the fireplace is going to be. And then where's the sofa and where's the coffee table, and then the rug slips in. So if you do it in that order, it'll land. But if you jump in and, I'm going to inadvertently put the ground plane in first, it's backwards.
It happens all the time. That's normally the way people do it, I feel like.
Yeah.
The pool's
They put
first.
the pool in first.
And you can see why that happens, because the pool's going to tear up anything I plant. I'm going to damage irrigate. I got to get the pool first. Pool person comes first, defines the space, maybe claims too much territory, not realizing he needs to play with others. Landscape by others happens a lot. And then the landscape is the fringe instead of a preeminent piece. So I want to turn that inside out for you with this example. I like to work from the background forward instead of the inside out. And here is a moment where bringing in a craned ironwood tree is the focal point first. Doesn't the landscape come later? The big stuff needs to arrive sooner. Otherwise, you're going to lose access and opportunity. So we place the tree. The pool is a mirror. It's on axis with the dining room. So this composition is what you enjoy from the main living space, looking out. The pool, I like to say, is the rug in the room.
Yeah.
What you see vertically is what you see from the inside. So treat your windows as a canvas. How do you want to compose just that canvas at that moment? And that's the key. So, and then the lighting.
Well, that's very cool.
Then the lighting. Light it like a photographer would. There's lighting to be functional, and you just put one light per object. But if you study a photographer's studio, they might have 3 or 4 lights to really bring a subject to life. That kind of lighting, when you do it in the landscape, is unbelievable. But it takes doing the extra fixtures and wear.
I was going to say, it's going to take some knowledge
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah. So this composite here really illustrates the background first, then the foreground, and the pool is almost like the last piece of the puzzle.
We sell a lot of high-end luxury real estate. And we know that money doesn't always make the difference. People can put a lot of money in, and they still don't get this kind of experience.
True.
So how do people get this elusive magic?
Yeah, no, it's
if
elusive.
you got, $500,000, $1 million to spend, whatever it is, $1 million to spend in the backyard, it can have the magic or not. So what's the difference?
And even on a lower budget property, I want to emphasize proportion. Well, it takes effort, so it's not free.
Yeah.
Because you got to think about it, but it doesn't cost anything. It's how you put the things together. If you're going to have these elements that cost so much, the magic is in how they are arranged. That's composition. Composition is how you put things together and use proportion. And that's somewhat of a forgotten art. So studying the room, studying the views, and creating each scene as if it's a painting that has foreground, middle ground, and background. That will lead you how to compose the space. And then knowing how to do things in the right order. Don't put the pool in first. Let it appear as you've designed everything around it. And it'll show up. Yeah, that's the process. That's the magic. And that's why I do what I do.
So when your clients actually figure out what they're looking for, what do they finally settle on for their outside budget? And what does it take to satisfy their ambitions relative to the home itself?
So even in a small property, if you get the layering right, it can be amazing. This was a home in suburbia with a pretty small backyard. They had some really cool mid-century modern art inside going on. That gave me cues as to their style. We didn't have room for big landscape, which I often like to do. How do you treat the upright layers? So we opted for some steel panels to create this rhythmic effect across the back. Really graphic and interesting, like their art.
Is it like hot rolled steel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Notice
cool.
how simple the pool is. It's a rectangle. Where's the raised bond beam? Where is the spillways? Where are the bubblers? Where are the fire bowls?
You don't need them.
You don't need them.
You have.
It's noise. It's almost like how many things can we smash into a space because checking boxes is the game. And the best method is editing, taking away, taking away. Mark Twain, I didn't have time to write a short letter, so I wrote a long one instead. And he just volumetrically applying too many things to a space is actually the opposite method. So this is a simple project on a modest home. The upright layers are what landed it. And as far as budgeting, there's this metric in the universe. I think it originated in ASLA, landscape architecture recommendations, maybe from a global, universal, national average. This precedent of 20% of the home value. This is 40%.
This particular project.
Yeah. That metric is not holding true, not in Arizona. This is outdoor living. This isn't shrubbery.
It's an extension of your living space.
Well,
And I know that's a shock to many folks to hear that first, but I'm going to put it out there for my whole industry and for the owners that are having trepidation about this process. Am I going to overbuild for the neighborhood? Let me show you some examples where that they made profit and enjoyed it while they lived there. So in proportion, there's all four domains happening in the scene. There's the pool, there's the landscape, there's architecture elements, these vertical elements, the shade structure, landscape and lighting. All four domains are being checked. And so each domain's about 25%. I'm finding that to be true. There's more proportion showing up. You know, if the pool's roughly around 100, all my different contractors are showing up in that range, and you want to check all four boxes. That's how you can get to 400 quickly. On like $1 million home, that's 40%. If you want to be more modest, then you don't do architecture. You might go light on landscape. The pool's the first thing you have to do if you have a pool. And that's how those numbers are starting to work out proportionally to the home value.
it's interesting the values that you're putting on it. We've talked about this before, but the landscape and the hardscape is the one thing that grows with the house and actually brings more equity the more that it raises and grows. Whereas as time goes on, the actual home itself gets dated and old and decreases in value sometimes. Whereas the landscape, if you invest the right amount from the beginning, but it a lot of people tend to skimp on it towards the end.
Yeah, the fear of overbuilding the neighborhood. If it's not a good design, by all means, proceed with caution. I've taken out projects that were, in today's dollars, $1 million, and they cost the home's sale. They sat on the market too long. And that's tragedy. But if those same dollars had been spent well, it would have sold in a dime. And I'll show you a few. This is a home in Arcadia in 2017. 2018, it was about $1.2 million. No backyard at all. And they went for it at all the elements. The architecture is here. There's architecture, there's lighting, there's landscape, and there's pool. All done well. All four quadrants he wanted done well. Not just the pool, not just the hardscape. Go for it with lighting and structures. That's the extra, the icing on the cake. And he came in around 42% of the home at $500K in 2018. It took 4 years, if you're following Zillow, if you're going to just, okay, let's just use the graph for averages. It took about 4 years to recover that. It wasn't long later that he sold, and he grossed 200. He sold at 1.9. So that's somewhat of the ratios and how they work out. And I'm kind of using this as a baseline conversation. There wasn't a front yard, side yard, courtyard. It was just the backyard. And relative to the house, he was about 40%. Could he have done less? Yes, he just wouldn't have hit all those other boxes. Could do the pool really well. Do a little bit of landscape that's going to grow. Maybe you're at 150, 200. But you may not be getting all the excitement, the icing on the cake. That's the purpose of the cakes, to hold up the icing. Let's just get
Sure,
to it.
very true.
So what do you think of these proportions, these numbers? Are they surprising? Are you familiar?
No, I mean, not surprising at all. I mean, I don't like seeing Zillow on our podcast, but
It was a quick graphic.
Yeah.
no, I mean, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, we hear it all the time, and again, it's a common thing. Like if a lot of developers or spec homes, they are not putting these 4 elements into their backyards at all.
Yeah.
And they're really hard to sell. And so if you can find our clients, if we can find a home that was a true custom home where the client hired someone like you and put those 4 elements and put the money in, maybe lived in it a year or two and then is reselling it, those are the best homes for us to be selling. But I mean, it's hard to say 40% of,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's-
I'm going to start asking questions now.
Yeah. This is the home I was telling you about a minute ago. I got a call from a repeat client in 2009, and this location's on Camelback Mountain. It's amazing location, you would think. And the location didn't save this project. My client did. And it checked all the boxes. It was listed at the peak around 8 million, the peak of the market. But the design stalled it. Folks walked in and they walked out, and it sat on the market for 2 years and lost half of its list price. And my client picked it up for 3.8. 2009, let's do it again. They had a home in Cave Creek. They wanted to be in town. They invested $3 million in the inside and the outside. And it was unbelievable. I have a few before and afters. The front was a little bit of a mishmash of 2 different things competing. Man-made versus natural. Can't decide, hey, it's a spec home. Let's do both. And we brought it back to, it's all natural with this bridge that kind of straddled and had a more axial approach to the front yard. And then the inside, we've got a pool, but you can't see it. We're hiding it with a sago palm. And it's a small pool. So we opened up this window. So this is the foyer. Breathe.
Huge difference.
Breathe.
Yeah.
Relax. And it's got space. The pool looked over into a fire pit and power lines. The vanishing edge is supposed to cut into something beautiful.
Yeah.
Hide the background with trees so you don't see the trees anymore. Brought in a beautiful tree, perfectly situated so it doesn't block views, and the pool became an edge. But one of my favorites is the inside view. A 20-foot slider opens to see the barbecue. That's the focal point, and it bounces the sunlight at 5 o'clock into your kitchen.
Of course.
Did you have a view? What view? I'm looking at the barbecue. We positioned that tree carefully. After we tore out about $1 million of work, the client was so relieved. The dirt was amazing. Please don't bring any obstructions. I had to do a Photoshop graphic of where this tree was going to land. Look, it's nestled in the chalice between the mountains. It's in the sky. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like we put the tree in before we did anything.
It's accentuating your view, not blocking it.
It's framing your view.
Yes.
The canopy is up above your eye level. You're going to see the mountains. You need shade. You need something graphic and interesting.
Yeah.
So that's
Right
where
in between Mummy Mountain and the Phoenix Mountain Preserves over here.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is inside space, and there's a slider that removes, and that's an outdoor living room. And it's seamless now.
Yeah.
Well
My
done.
favorite view is this angle where this is the symphony that shows up and no one wrote the sheet music. And they all just start playing. There's elements. Who's driving the bus? And that's kind of the magic we're talking about of proportion and elements. We gave way to this, just shh,
Yeah.
That's cool.
quiet,
Gorgeous.
and erased the background with a uniform palette of plants, expanded the edge.
Are those starlights on the bottom of the pool?
Yes. The big sun shelf is dark,
Wow.
so a few fiber optic starlights will accentuate that. Yeah. But my favorite, I'm standing on the barbecue. You can't actually sit here. This is the best view in the house, looking up at Mummy, at the praying monk. You can't actually sit here. And I'm at the fire pit.
Yeah.
This is one of the best views to land. So how do you position your furniture to enjoy that moment? Design the furniture first. It tells you where the pool isn't going. So this was a $3 million recovery on a $4 million house. And today it's sitting about 11. This one here, we presented the design. 6 months later, they said, okay. And where you been? We were out shopping for other homes. We were deciding, could we just move? But everything they wanted to move to was farther away, cost more, and needed to be remodeled. So they came home and they decided, let's stay where we love and make it beautiful. So they put about 84% of their home, it was about 800 at the time, and they put 84% into their house to take not only the backyard, but they redid the patio structure. Look at this. So that's the same view. And we erased some of the houses with this bonsai ironwood that we craned over the house. And the 30-foot water feature is like the silver platter.
It's really pretty.
Serving up.
Huge difference.
Yes. The water feature is not the subject. It's a beckoning tool. Hey, look this way. And what's behind it is this beautiful landscape. The flower arrangement is the prize. That's from inside. And when you look out, it's a jumbled mess and furniture and it's hurdles and speed bumps. Uh-oh. And that's the frame that we created.
Wow.
Notice.
You're just drawn to the mountain.
Do you feel it?
Yeah.
So the mountain was there.
You didn't even see it. No.
You
No,
couldn't
well-
appreciate it. It wasn't framed, and there was a neighbor's house.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you took the neighborhood away.
Yeah.
That tree. Normally, I'd put the tree in the corner because this is a diagonal lot, and the corner's begging for something. But that's where the view is. So we had to off balance place the ironwood tree. So the counterbalance is the cactus, which you see from the front door, and then you get out, and then you see the triangle of the mountain, the cactus, and the tree working together. So it's that composition that does it. Some before and afters. Same angle.
Wow.
But this is my favorite part. This is their patio. It's very shallow. There's a column. You can't live.
Yeah.
How do you live here? They didn't. They just never went out.
They never went out there.
They never went into their backyard. There's no place to be. So we ended up, part of what I love doing when I can is interface with the architect, work alongside the architect. On a new build, a lot of time this is worked out, but on older homes, this isn't worked out. And we may need to surgically help the house. These are windows and a door that doesn't open. And the patio roof was just not serving them.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That is a huge difference.
A 40-foot beam helps.
For those of you who are not watching this, you need to go look at it online for one thing. Go to YouTube. But a huge increase in patio space and outside livability.
Yeah. Yeah, we doubled the outdoor living, removed the middle column, craned in. Crane day is a fun day. We love crane days. Trees flying over the house, 40-foot steel beams flying over the house. It's like the Tonka commercial all over again. And the fireplace is the support. And there's this long brow of a canopy creating a perfect outdoor living room now with a fireplace, and all the furniture's working. The traffic flow is good. There's ways to meander. Everything flows, and you can have 100 people here, and it's comfortable. No one's in each
This is
other's
going
way.
to bring so much value.
It's great. They love it. And since then, they've remodeled their kitchen, and
And they're staying longer.
they're staying longer. Right. So the thought of the biggest return on investment for them was we get to live where we want to, but we can enjoy it.
Well, that kind of brings me to my next question. We've talked a lot about the returns that this good design brings, the investment, the strategy, all of that. But I have a feeling that's not what gets you up in the morning.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I know that this is elusive. You know, we all have our different gifts and talents that we can bring to the world. Apparently, I got lumped in the head to tweak. I got bumped in the head a certain way that this is what I do, this is what I see. And it's like magic. I just light up when I can, one, figure it out. It's a puzzle to be solved. But I love showing it to people who just didn't see it, and it's like pulling back the curtain in The Wizard of Oz. It's that moment, or when everything pops into full color when Dorothy arrives. You know, it's that moment where it's all resolved. But the best part is when they're certain and they're confident in what they can do to move forward, because this has been fretting. They've been fretting about this for so long. So I love the artistry, and I love how that impacts other people. How I can gift that to them and use my talents in a way that helps other people and brings them joy for decades and value if they decide to sell.
Well, that is definitely coming across.
Yeah,
It really is.
for sure.
Yeah, and I love doing that for clients, and I love collaborating. This is not something that you can do alone. I love working with people that have the same passion, other architects, builders, interior designers, teams of people. We're all musicians in the band working on behalf of the client to make this beautiful, poetic piece of music that they get to live in.
Well, I can tell you, as real estate agents, you can feel the difference when you walk into a space, whether it's architecture or landscape architecture, what you're talking about, you can feel that music. So
Yeah.
it makes a big difference, especially on the sales side.
Yeah, enjoy. Well, next time you listen to Mozart, you'll have a new nuance about it.
Yeah, we will. All right. We like to add some rapid fire towards the end. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. What is your favorite piece of architecture?
I've been to Fallingwater, and therefore I can say yes, not just because I saw it in a book. I've been to Fallingwater, and it's unbelievable. And there's things there that aren't in the book, that wasn't in architectural history. The sound of the water that runs through the whole house, just a low, ever-present rumble, is just amazing. The fact that that upper balcony that overhangs, it's a 30-inch railing, not 36 or 42. And when you walk out to it, it's over everything and the furthest thing out, and it's positioned over the waterfall.
Is that over that living space upstairs?
Yeah.
I'm trying to picture what that's over.
Yeah, so if you imagine Fallingwater from its famously shot downstream location looking back, that overhead parapet is the furthest thing out. Well, imagine standing up there. So he has positioned you in space in a very unusual location. And when you walk out over that balcony and you look over, it's only 30-inch rail, what a great sense of vertigo, because you're looking down at the waterfall falling away from you. How often do you get that shot? And my third favorite moment there was the hatch in the living room that opens up like you're going down into a ship. And there's a suspended stair from the wing of the airplane, if you will. And you're suspended over the runway. It feels like you're clutching the landing gear on a plane that's about to take off because the pavement is rushing at you. And you're holding on.
That's what.
The stream is doing that. You're suspended over the creek, and the stream is flowing towards you. So it's another, like a photographer, putting you in unusual situations to get angles you never would. So it's so integrated with the land.
They were doing cold plunge
amazing.
way before cold plunge was cool, right? Like, what is it? Was that they would go in the water through this like opening in the living space. It's amazing. Have you been?
No, I haven't been there yet.
It's in the middle of Pennsylvania. You got to go there on purpose. It's not Pittsburgh. It's not Philly. You must fly in and drive. You have to go there on purpose.
Next time I go to Ohio, maybe drive over.
Did you go to the Knob Creek, Frank Lloyd Wright when you were up there?
I didn't
Just
see
up the
that
way?
one.
Oh,
I
very
missed that.
special.
I need to go back.
It's worth it.
Yeah. And I'll throw in a garden because if you haven't been to the Huntington Gardens in Pasadena area, unbelievable. They've been there over 100 years. And they just completed a few years ago a 50 million Chinese garden.
Oh, wow.
It's got an acre and a half of a lake, and it's exquisite. It's unbelievable. And it has all of these camera angles and views and borrowed elements. And I mean, the whole place is amazing. But there's a recent installation there that if you haven't seen, it's time to go back.
Okay. I haven't seen, so.
I haven't either.
It's a whole day.
So, sunrise or sunset?
Oh, they're both amazing. The sunrise is beautiful because the quiet of the day.
I agree. There's a gorgeous sunrise this morning.
Yeah. The day hasn't gotten busy yet.
All right. What's your poolside music? Jazz, classical, rock, something else?
Oh, I love all genres. But Jesse Cook is coming. I love Jesse Cook. He's my favorite flamenco, new flamenco. It's hard to sit still listening to Jesse Cook.
I'll have to
I
check it
recommend
out.
it.
Yeah,
He'll
me
be at
too.
I've got my tickets. He'll be at the Mesa Arts Center in January.
Okay.
Okay.
Look him up.
I will.
Okay. Camelback Mountain views or Pinnacle Peak views?
I love Pinnacle Peak. I remember Pinnacle Peak patio in Rawhide. I remember being there in the late 80s when I was a kid, when it was all dirt roads.
Yeah.
And the smell of the mesquite. Oh my gosh, that was breathtaking. What a great place.
What's harder to design, simplicity or complexity?
Surprisingly, simplicity. I had a lecture where I heard Gordon Rogers. He say, as architects, we work tirelessly to make it look so simple. You didn't see the 20 iterations we threw away. Yeah, it's harder to make it look simple.
I believe it.
I would agree. Kirk, thank you so much for being on our show. We are going to link all of your contact information in our show notes, but if you wouldn't mind telling our listeners where they could find you.
Yes, my website is BianchiDesign.com. Bianchi like the bike.
There you go.
We have some cyclists here. Yeah, BianchiDesign.com is where you'll find me online. And a YouTube channel, just look up Kirk Bianchi on YouTube and you'll see a lot of 3D illustrations there as well.
Great. Well, great getting to know you. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. Great
And-
having this time with you today.
Same. Yeah. And that's it for today's episode of Modern Home Mastermind. If you've enjoyed this show, please like, rate, and subscribe.
Thanks to our guest for sharing his insights and to you for learning about everything modern with us.
And if you're ready to take the next step in your real estate journey, please reach out to us at Bespoke Real Estate. And until next time, keep living, loving everything modern.